Hey everyone, Kyle here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the easiest ways to make money online, and that's by simply starting a Skool community. With a Skool community, you can take a skill or a passion that you have and basically turn it into a profitable digital course program that you can sell for a monthly recurring membership fee. Inside of this video, I'm going to take you through step-by-step setting up your very own Skool community, making sure that you set up all the right settings and making sure that you don't skip anything. That way your Skool community is successful in the first place. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first things first, let's actually show you guys how to get started with your Skool community. The first thing you're going to want to go about doing is head down to the description and click the link for Skool. Once you click that link, you should be brought to a page that looks something like this one. As you can see, you can get started with Skool by simply clicking on Create your community. Once you click on create your community, you'll be taken to their pricing plan page. Now, if you actually aren't familiar with Skool, originally they used to have a $99 a month plan, which is their pro plan that you can see right here. This comes with pretty much everything inside of the platform: custom features, unlimited members, unlimited courses, unlimited admins, so on and so forth, and a 2.9% transaction fee, which is a pretty big deal considering the fact that that is actually the lowest transaction fee in the industry. And if we take a look here, their alternative plan is a $9 a month hobby plan. Now, this comes with most of the other features you're going to see that are part of the pro plan, with a few different subtractions given the fact that you're paying a much cheaper price here. This comes with unlimited members, unlimited courses. On this one, you only get one admin account, and this one comes with a 10% transaction fee, which is pretty substantial. Also, you can't do any custom URLs with this one. Also, if you go with the $9 a month plan, it will suggest communities inside of the sidebar to show to other people that they can potentially join. Now, in my opinion, I would highly recommend with going something like the hobby plan. You can really get started with this completely for free too, considering the fact that Skool has a 14-day free trial that you can take advantage of. Also, with this $9 a month hobby plan, this gives you a chance to actually kind of dip your feet into the water and see how successful you can be with your Skool community before committing fully to that $99 a month fee. Also, just as a quick note here, I would highly recommend going with this pro plan once you start making more money, considering the fact that a 10% transaction fee is going to eat into your profits quite a bit, as opposed to the 2.9% transaction fee that they would charge on the $99 a month fee. Now, to actually get started here, we're going to go ahead and click on this try for free button right here. As you can see, there's a 14-day free trial, which means you don't have to pay anything to actually get started here. All we have to do is enter in our group name, which we can think of just about anything. So for this example, I'll just type in "this group is a test" or something like that, and then I'll add some numbers just so that way they'll actually give me that name. Then you just enter in your credit card details, and then you can hit the start free trial button. And then boom, just like that, we are officially inside of our Skool community. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is answer this question they're asking right here, which is your audience size. Basically, what type of audience are you planning on growing this to, or what's your current audience size on, Instagram, YouTube, or even TikTok? Now, most of you watching this video are probably somewhere under 10K or between 10K to 100K. So we'll go ahead and pick under 10K just to keep things realistic. I'm going to go ahead and hit the next button here, which will take me inside of my Skool group. Now, as you can see, there's a couple of things we can start doing here immediately thanks to this little checklist that they've given us. The first thing here is going to be watching this 2-minute intro video. We can click on that, which will open up a little intro video that will play some audio to and kind of go through basically step by step how to kind of set up this Skool community. But we're going to show you some secrets that they don't really show you inside of that video. And I'll get to those in just a moment. Now, next on the checklist is going to be setting a cover image. What does that look like? It's going to be this little piece of, visual right here. We're going to show you how to do all this though right now, kind of in the easiest, quickest way possible, so that way you can start making money obviously a lot faster as well. What we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. We're going to click on this little settings button right here. And then inside of here, we're going to go to general. And then inside of general, this is where we can start uploading different features, different products, and different things to make our Skool group stand out a little bit more and have some of that custom branding that we wanted to have. Now, first things first, let's go to this cover image right here. As you can see, they have a recommended sizing, which is about 10/840 by 576. 6. So if you use, something like Adobe Illustrator or Figma, you can set your parameters to that size so that way everything converts correctly and looks properly sized inside of your school. To actually upload this, we can click on this upload button or hit the change button here, which will then pull up our desktop or whatever file system you use. And then we can choose actually the type of cover that we want to add to this. Now, just to stay ahead of this video and keep things super simple, I went ahead and basically made a super simple design inside of Figma that we can use just temporarily as an example to show you guys kind of what to expect or how this should look inside of your school community. So for this example, I just did the AI Codex Lab, which is basically just a fake brand, right? It doesn't exist. And then did this one. I'm going to hit the open button or the enter button. That will put it inside of my school thing. So this one actually is a little bit off kilter here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit using this little zoom drag button here and then kind of center it up a little bit more so that way it looks a little bit more presentable. Once that all looks good, I'll hit the save button. It'll then process my cover, and just like that, that cover image will be updated. Now, one last thing you're going to want to do on this page, well, actually there's two more things, is upload an icon for your group. That way it's not just a bland, boring TG as it's kind of saying right here, right? So I can upload an icon, I can hop on here, and then I can actually pick this icon that I pre-designed here. This is a 148 by 148 here, and I'll hit the open button, which will then allow me to save. And just like that, we have an icon. Now our school group looks a little bit more professional, and we have this kind of custom branding that you'll see in just a moment here on the right hand side. Now in the group description part, this is where you can kind of give people just a super simple description about what your group is about, what they can expect inside of it. Do not make this overly complicated or long. You can keep this as short as possible and just make it punchy. So let's say, for instance, just to give you an example about what this group could be about, we teach people how to start an AI agency or something like that, right? So learn how to start a AI agency, right? And then let's capitalize that so it looks a little better. It will be our group description, right? Something really ultra simple like that, not too complicated. Also, you can change the group name here if you want to for any reason. Now, as you can see, our cover has been updated to that new cover image that we just created. Also, our icon's updated here. It hasn't updated on this yet. I'd probably have to refresh the page here, and just like that, boom, it's updated. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the About page. I would wager to bet that most of you are going to spend most of your time customizing this specific page right here. And one of the reasons that I say this is that this is basically like your landing page. This is what's going to get people to want to join your community in the first place. Nobody's going to come to your About page if it looks like this, and they're not going to join your community. I can actually give you an example here because I can copy this URL, open up an incognito tab, open it up, and this is what your About page would essentially look like to somebody who is just visiting your page like right now. This is what it looks like live right now if I was, a new user or a potential lead that wanted to join this community. As you can see right here, this is a very ineffective About page, right? We have our little cover image that we just made, and we have our icon, but that's about it. It's honestly not even really obvious what this is. So make sure you spend quite a bit of time on your About page when you're trying to build that, which we'll do that right now. The biggest things that I've seen on some of the best About pages on the Skool platform are images. There's also the option to upload videos. Videos do perform really well, but most people are not going to sit through them. They're not going to waste their time clicking through and watching the full video. You're going to be much better off using and focusing on images that portray what your group is about. And then there's a couple of options here. When you go to upload those images, you can upload your own image, which is what I recommend you do. And then there's also the ability to add links or just an entire video file in general, right? You can add a YouTube video, Loom video, Vimeo, or a Wista, and then you can also drop your own videos in with Skool's native video player, which they just added, which is pretty cool. And then we'll just upload image though. And then we have a couple of example images that I created just to kind of show you guys the types of About page imagery that you should include to kind of facilitate or tell people, hey, this is what's inside of my community, right? Let's just start with this one, for example. We'll upload this one that I made in Figma. It took me almost no time to build this. And then boom, now we have a visual on our About page, which makes this look just a lot more professional. Now, we also have the option of uploading uploading an image and going inside of here and uploading more images. I believe the total amount of images that you can have in your about page is 5, and that's including a video too. So you can kind of mix and match and choose what types of images you want to have in your about page, and so on and so forth, right? But these are just kind of a few examples here. Let's see if I want to add like one more. Let's do this one. And these are just kind of examples of what you can put on your about page to kind of showcase what's inside of your community, what people are going to learn inside of your community, and the type of value that you get as well. Also, just as a quick little note here, if you see this little thing that says powered by Skool, that actually doesn't appear if you have the Pro plan, which is the $99 a month plan that we talked about at the beginning of the video. This goes away, as well as the ability to do a lot more custom branding for your Skool community, so it looks just that much more professional and a little bit more trustable, which can be kind of a big help as well. But basically, these are the visual aspects of your about page. Next big thing is going to be adding a description or your about page bio, for example. This also is extremely important what you write here, because this can also kind of convince people even more so to join your community in the first place. Don't just say something like join now, right? Don't just type that. That's not really going to do anything. I'd highly recommend using a tool like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, or any kind of AI software to help you write out an about page bio that successfully communicates what type of group that your group is or what type of group you're building. Now, just to give you a quick example, I hopped over to ChatGPT here. I just typed in write an about page bio for AI Codex Lab, which is our kind of fake, name for the type of thing that we're building here. This is the about page that it's going to write for us. This is not going to work. So you're going to want to be much more specific here and say only write in sentences and add some emojis for readability. It needs sentences introing what the offer is, and then a feature list for the content and classroom value they get. And you can customize this obviously as much as you want. I'm sure many of you out there have used ChatGPT before and you understand how this works, but this, as you can see, looks a little better here. Again, do edits to this. People can tell when you use AI to write stuff like this, and if you don't make significant changes to what you get from the AI, this can come off just really fake and weird. And people can tell. Basically, people can tell when you're not really being as authentic with AI. But if you, legitimately use AI and then try to make changes to it, it'll look a lot better. I'm just kind of giving you an example of the frameworks that we kind of use to do our own about pages. As you can see right here, though, this is our output. Looks actually pretty decent, right? Doesn't look too bad here. Let's go ahead and copy our URL again, head back to that incognito window and open it up again. We can see we have a much better looking about page that feels just a lot more trustable, right? You actually kind of have an idea of what you're going to get inside of this program, what to expect from it, and you even have a little about page here that kind of tells you some of the info about what's inside of the program. Although we're done taking care of the about page though, and again, you can customize this till the cows come home, so don't get too bogged down in the weeds. Always remember, good enough is good enough, right? You don't need to worry about making your group perfect. It just matters about the traffic and the amount of people that you can actually get to visit your about page in the first place, right? That's how you make those sales, and that's how you get people to join. Next big step here is hitting this little classroom tab right here, which is where you're going to upload your course content. This is where basically you will upload your course modules, your videos, tutorials, any type of content basically that's supposed to guide users on what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to achieve that, dream result or dream outcome that you have with your Skool community. You basically are doing it inside of the classroom tab. Now, first thing I can do here is click on this little button that says new course, which will allow me to start building that first course program. I can give this course an aim, so I'm just going to give it something really simple like test, and then again, course description. Test is a test that I am running. These are usually around 500 characters. Same for the course name, about 50 characters, so you can kind of do with that as well. Now we have a couple of options that we can choose from. Down here we have 5 different type of course options that we can choose to have our users have access to and have them access this program in a certain way, right? Very first option, which is the default option, which is open. This basically just means that the course is open to anyone, right? Any member that joins inside of the community can access this module. Next one here is level unlock, which, as you can see, that adds a little drop down here where we can choose what level we want people to be able to access this. And the reason you would want to do a level unlocked module could be a couple of different reasons. The first of which, it really drives engagement in your community, right? Because one of the easiest ways to level up inside of Skool is by liking posts, making posts, dropping comments, and just being an active participant inside of the Skool community. So by turning that level unlock on, we can basically encourage people to be a lot more active and to get our community engagement up much higher, which leads to lower churn and higher retention, which can be a big deal. Next one here is buy where basically you have a course program inside your already existing Skool module where people can pay a one-time fee to unlock a part of the course program, so that way they can get, the full amount of value, whether that's, templates or guides or extra assistance, one-on-one services. You can basically hide things behind a paywall and basically charge an upsell, which is what Alex Hormozi talks a ton about in his new book, which is a really effective way of monetizing that, right? And you can set that one-time price. I believe the highest you can go is like 10,000 or something like that. Yeah. Also, there's the upper option to toggle on when members upgrade to annual, which can basically help your overall revenue numbers just by basically saying, hey, if you upgrade to annual, you'll get this by default anyways. So if you upgrade to that higher subscription tier, that kind of gives you access to that. This can be another really good way to raise revenue inside of your Skool community. Next thing up here is time unlock, which basically just you set it for, let's say, 30 days after they join the program. This specific module will unlock itself and you can start playing around with it and start doing things with it. This can be a very, very helpful thing that I think a lot of people really will get behind and really be excited about, especially too because this will reduce churn. You could say, oh, after 60 days in this program, which is like 2 months basically, and you get access to this special module that teaches a special strategy that works really well for us or something like that, which, encourages people basically to stay past that first initial 30 days to increase your overall revenue. And then there's the private option, which basically just is like a private course program that anybody in the community can see that it exists. Only certain members who get an invite from you can access it. So it's kind of another big thing. Then there's the course cover. This is pretty easy. You can just upload any of these, types of images, right? And then that kind of acts as the course cover. So let's just say this, for example, even though this isn't the actual course cover I would use, let's just say I add this. Once everything looks good and I'm happy with how this looks, let's just make it open. There's a little published icon down here. You can actually work with Skool's drafting system, which basically lets you, make a bunch of courses and you can publish them all at the same time. So that way you can basically have a full launch when you're ready. We'll just go ahead and hit that publish button though, and then hit the add button, which will take us basically directly inside of our module page where we can start messing around and start adding content, right? Typing in things, adding videos, and doing things of that nature to start building our course. We'll actually click on the classroom tab one more time. As you can see, this is what our first little course module looks like, right? Which obviously this isn't the very final course module. This is just a test, but just to show you guys how that kind of whole system works and how easy it is to do. Then once all that stuff's taken care of, that's pretty much everything. You just have to consistently start adding new course material. Make sure people actually get that dream result that you're offering as part of your Skool group. People really, really want results at the end of the day. And if you're able to build something that actually will get them that dream result, they're going to be much more likely to pay you. Hopefully this video helped you guys with this whole process. Make sure to comment down in the comment section if you guys have any questions. Also, make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our future videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.